Welcome to tonight's Hedgehog Players production of Edgar Was a Worm, Part 2. Please be advised, if you came here expecting a lighthearted tale with a happy ending, you are about to be sorely disappointed. If you do not wish to ruin your whole life, your evening, and your day, I beg you, look away. This story is full of nothing but inconvenience, horror, and dismay. So again, I beg you, please, look away. Previously on Edgar Was a Worm, we last left our hero, Edgar the Worm, in the clutches of his antagonist, a word here which refers to the villain of our tale, Mr. Reglan. Edgar was afraid he was about to bite the dust. Bite the dust is an idiom. An idiom is a group of words established by usage as having a meaning not deducible from those of the individual words. Since Edgar was a worm, he was used to eating dirt. But to bite the dust in this reference means to perish or die. Just then, Mr. Reglan had a brainstorm. A talking worm comes around just once in a blue moon, and Mr. Reglan's cash cow, that is to say, a product which provides a steady income. So Mr. Reglan took Edgar on the road. After all, Edgar was a worm and worked for peanuts. That is to say, he came dirt cheap. Mr. Reglan and his amazing talking worm became a very famous and popular exhibition. Night after night and day after day, poor Edgar was forced to perform
We're not ready yet, so
Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
It's a big show.
It is. Big cast.
I think they're ready.
Ready?
Yep. Oh my god.
Edgar was a worm and tiny, but the worms began to see in the ground. He was quite happy till one Saturday. Mr. Raglan came a kneeling to the ground and started looking for a worm to bait his fish upon that Saturday. Mr. Raglan grabbed old Edgar there. He sized him up and he said that he was fair. And you had to think of something to get out of going fishing. So he looked at Mr. Raglan and to him did say, you know fish go in the water, men and women go in our toes, little worms go in the ground, so won't you put me down? Said Jesus told me all about you men, and about the way that you did him in.
That worm is great.
In their matching bow ties, the duo was dressed to kill. However, Edgar soon grew weary of life on the road. He longed for his happy life beneath the earth. Edgar hatched a plan of his own. he refused to sing. If he refused to sing, Mr. Reglan would have to realize that Elvis had left the building. Of course, it is impossible for Elvis to have actually been there, since he is alive and well and residing in Canada. When someone says Elvis has left the building, they are declaring that the show is over. And Edgar was eager for his show to end. Edgar did not only refuse to sing, but in an attempt to escape, he leapt into the audience, landing on a woman's face. He caused utter pandemonium, a word which means chaos. In the resulting riot, Mr. Reglan and Edgar barely escaped with their lives. Madder than a wet hen is a phrase that perfectly describes Mr. Reglan at this particular moment, as he determined that the time had finally come to take Edgar fishing. Mr. Reglan realized you can't beat a dead horse, but you can take one fishing. As Edgar was about to be thrown to the wolves, in this case, the fish, he thought he would try the same trick that got him out of his previous fishing trip. You know, fish go in the water, men and women go in autos, little worms go in the ground, so won't you please put me down? Stop right there, you measly worm, yelled Mr. Reglan. That's not going to work this time. Mr. Reglan tossed Edgar into the murky deep. But Edgar was not ready to give up just yet. Just as he was about to be swallowed by a fish, Edgar tugged on the line as hard as his little worm biceps were capable of doing, and Mr. Reglan lost his balance and descended to Davy Jones's locker. As Edgar and Mr. Reglan took their last breaths, the heavens opened up and they heard the angels singing.
Six, nine, the goose drink wine, the monkey chipped back on the streetcar line, the line broke, the monkey got choked, and they all went to heaven. Clap, snap, clap, 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 snap, clap, clap, everybody dance to the music. Right hand.
As they entered heaven, Edgar is warmly greeted by Jesus. Mr. Reglan exclaims, "This place is awesome!" Jesus lets out a laugh and says, "Only the good enter here. You won't be staying." Speak of the devil. No, literally. Speak of the devil. It is time for you to go to hell. Yes, I mean literally, go to hell. As Mr. Reglan departs with the devil, Jesus and Edgar are deep in conversation. Once again, Jesus explains to Edgar, I told you all about those men and about the way they're gonna do you in.